Hey, Paper and Glam family, it's Lisamarie. I'm back with another pep talk, and if you're new to Paper and Glam, I'm so excited that you're here. I don't believe you're here by accident. I think that you found us because you might be needing a little of what we do here at Paper and Glam. And if you're like, what do we do here at Paper and Glam? We do a lot of things. We read together, we plan together, we live seasonally together, and all of those things have this common denominator of growth. So continuous growth in our lives and our relationships is really at the core, fundamentally what we're about. So with this podcast, I really wanted to share just simple things that I've been learning and that I think anyone can apply to their days, the way they approach their days. And really, it's all about just closing that gap from where we are today and where we want to be. So with that, let's get to it. Today, we're going to be talking about something firmly in the planning stratosphere, and that is to-do lists. If you're like me, you can get really easily overwhelmed by your to-do list and not know which item you should choose first because they all have conflicting priorities, right? Like some things are about wellness, some things are about, your professional health, some things are about your relationships, which is first priority, right? And that decision fatigue can be a little bit crippling, right? And if you're also like me, it can feel like for every ball you get in the air, another one drops out of the air. And that, for me, especially as an Enneagram 4, can lead to a little bit of shame in that I am just not making the right decision, right? And it's not that I'm not making the right decision. Sorry for that double negative. It's that there's conflicting priorities. So how do you decide what to prioritize on your to-do list, right? You can only really do one thing at a time, and we should only be doing one thing at a time, right? Multitasking is a myth. So what do we choose? I have been using one very specific criteria for what I choose to do next on my to-do list. So this is my, what should I do next moment of transition, because being good in those transitions of life are half the battle. So when I'm looking at my to-do list, I always think of this guiding principle: ruthless self-care will lead to your destiny. Now, if you're part of the God and Glam community, our daily video Bible study, then you heard me talk about this, but in a slightly different context. So self-care, I am defining as the thing that will make you enjoy your day more. And you might be thinking, but Lisamarie, I have bills to pay, I have kids to take care of, I have, whatever your big things are, that you can't just approach your day with that really jovial spirit of what will make me enjoy my life next. But I would argue that you can, and here's why. Okay, so let's set the scene here. Let's say on your fictional to-do list, you have, and this is just going on in your mind, right? These aren't even things you necessarily write down, but they're spiraling in the back of your mind. So you have take a shower, make dinner, hit a work deadline, pay a bill, answer that email, right? You've got these 5 things conflicting. So when you look at that and think, what is going to make me enjoy my day the most? Usually for me, what I will do is choose the work deadline. I choose work over self-care and relationships every time, and I really have to start reversing that narrative. So a lot of times, what will make me enjoy my day more is taking a shower, right? It's doing that load of laundry so that I have clean workout clothes for tomorrow, because if I don't do that, then I'm not going to get my workout in, and the dominoes keep going, right? But when I keep choosing those work deadlines because I don't want to let anyone down, and therefore I kind of let myself down, it kind of continues to spiral. So a lot of times when I am approaching my day, actually I would say all the time, when I'm approaching my day with this principle of ruthless self-care will lead to your destiny, and I choose the item that will help me enjoy my day, a lot of times that seems to make everything else fall into place. Because when I choose, say, a shower, I feel best the rest of my day because my hair is fresh or whatever, or if I choose to do the work deadline next, then I don't have it nagging in the back of my mind. Or if I choose to read for 15 minutes, then I just feel refreshed and I don't have that sense in my day oh, I wish I could read, or oh, I wish I could do that, because I'm oh no, I did take time to enjoy the day a little bit. And studies have shown that how we enhance our happiness is by little enjoyments throughout the day that are frequent. It's not those big mountaintop moments, right? It's not that vacation. And how many times have you caught yourself saying like, I just got to get through this, and then I have this joyful experience coming up? Well, studies have shown that's not actually how we get happier. How we get happier is by literally taking like 5 minutes to go outside and just like stretch, or 5 minutes to enjoy that first sip of coffee and like those first kind of moments waking up, or 5 minutes to read. That's how we enjoy our day. That's how we feel more productive. That's how we feel more joyful. And so to take it back to our principle today of ruthless self-care will lead to your destiny, and how to prioritize that seemingly never-ending to-do list, if we approach it from what will make me enjoy the day the most, I think you will find what I have found, and that is the priorities seem to reorder themselves, right? Because if you think about it, I'm not going to be able to enjoy reading a book for 15 minutes if I have that nagging work deadline. So a lot of times I'll just go meet the work deadlines, and then I'll say, okay, meet the work deadline, read for 15 minutes. And I know this might seem simple and you're like, I know this, but do you practice it, right? Because I know this and I don't practice it. I tend to put off my enjoyment of my day or my life for some future date, right? And we know when we do that, that doesn't happen. So try this for me and let me know your results. I am everywhere people can be found these days: Facebook, YouTube, email, lisamarie@paperandglam.com. Try this, approach your to-do list with a narrative of ruthless self-care will lead to my destiny, and let me know how that plays out for you, because it has revolutionized the way I approach every area of my life, from my health, from my work life, from my relationships, from just like my fun hobby type life, right? Just like reading, memory keeping, the things that I just love to do that make me me. And I really, really want to hear how this works for you. So I work with a business coach, and I have paid her good money to really help me put systems in place in my life, figure out what's holding me back. And I'm sharing those with you today. So this was just the thing that she said that made me just reformat literally every narrative in my life. Ruthless self-care will lead to your destiny. So I share it with you completely free as a thank you for all you do to support me and Paper and Glam. And I really hope it's helpful. So if one of the things on your to-do list is create a podcast, then I have just the next segment for you, because it's all about how I created this podcast. We're all experiencing a lot of ambiguity right now, right? With this coronavirus thing, the world has changed. And even when we're on the other side of it, there's no putting the horse back in the barn. A lot of things are going to change about our world, about the way that we work, about the way that we just see our world, right? And I want to be the most prepared for that paradigm shift that I can possibly be. So I've really doubled down on personal growth during this time. I'm not someone that necessarily has more time, just because I already worked from home and it's kind of business as usual, except minus my team. So I'm drowning a little bit work-wise, but despite that, I've really doubled down on this growth stuff. So what I did was I created a community based off of our God and Glam communities, because as a Christian, my faith is the beginning and end of everything. So it's on the back of our God and Glam Bible study, and it's a Patreon membership community that is specifically for those of you who want to take the next steps in your personal growth. So of course, I really believe no life change is possible without Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. So we start there. That's every morning. It's totally free, and it's just beautiful encouragement for your day. So, but to take next steps, like actionable next steps, I created the God and Glam Patreon community to start diving into each of these growth frameworks that we discuss every morning in Bible study, just because they come up. And, I reference Enneagram in this podcast. I also pulled on the Rebel Reward theory, which is from the 4 tendencies. So we're going to be going through the four growth frameworks, say that 3 times fast, that have transformed my life, because I know they're going to transform yours too. And I just cannot stop talking about these things because I've seen so much change. So if that sounds like fun to you, there are links down below. There's a link to join us every morning for the God and Glam Bible study. And then there's a link to join us on Patreon for this beautiful journey we're going to go on through these growth frameworks. So the ones we're going to be tackling specifically are the 4 tendencies, the Enneagram, human design, and then astrology for understanding how you're wired. So this is not like astrology that you might be thinking like about predicting the future or anything like that. This is looking at our birth charts to understand who we are and how to best leverage that wiring, that innate wiring for growth, for success, for all the things that we want. So join us for the God and Glam growth paper and glam community. That was a lot of glams. Join us for the God and Glam growth community. And it kicks off April 6th. You'll log in and you'll see all the next steps. And it's just going to be a really fun journey. So I hope to see you in the morning for our Bible study, 8:30 Pacific time. And I'll be back with another pep talk soon. I love you guys. Here's to growing through uncertainty. Here's continuing to plan and execute on our future.